Was like, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I just want to make sure you can hear me. Can you hear me? Okay, so if you can hear me, my cat is sitting. If you can hear me, tell me if you can repeat what I said. My cat is laying on my desk. Okay, perfect. My cat's on my desk. All right. Anyways, whatever your name is, KDF, um, you can go shoo now because I'm not. This isn't a porno. Is the honestly cute? Is the honestly cute? Hi, Mika. 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 Hi, Mika. Hi, mommy. Hi, mommy. Hi, baby. Hi. Look at boy, love you.
Please leave your message for 7.
Hello?
Hi, is this Linda?
Yes. Hi. Hi, Renee. Can I call you right back?
Yes.
Can I call you right back?
Yes, call
Okay.
me back.
Thank
All right.
you.
No
Okay.
worries.
Okay, bye. Bye.
The terrorists are still screaming in my head. They're Egyptian American Muslim women. What's that thing? Jordan. Get off of me.
Please leave your message for... Hello, you've reached DBS.
Okay, well, get a paper and clean it. Okay.
Oh, a nasty little boy. A nasty, nasty, nasty one. Can we go somewhere and do something? Can we go do something?
I'm making calls. Yeah, after I'm done. At like 6 when it closes down.
That's when everything closes.
Oh, you baby. Oh, you a baby. You little baby. Little face.
Can you come clean the nasty stuff,
Yes.
please, before I step on it? Why? Why? No! Can I? Can I? Okay, baby.
Hold on, baby. If you guys did that, they would want to blow your fucking brains out right then and there. But let's find out. Just a little. Is he the king or the prince? He's like, at least it's not your head.
This is a reminder to drink water.
Well, that's funny. What are they passing? Trying to pass somebody off as him? What's his actual name? Prince Muhammad.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ونحن نرفض وندين إهداءات السلطة الاحتلال الإسرائيلية في المنطقة وآخرها العدوان.
If he's gonna be 40 this year, he's gonna be 40 with 41. I'm 41 this year. Hold on. That's it. It's because he amputates heads for a living. Yeah. In public. I guess I hear where he's coming from. Better disabled than beheaded. What can you imagine? I just watched you chop off his head. How is that? Hi. Alright. Send a message to Anna. Damn.
Hi, your eruption also electric. I'm not able to answer the phone right now, but if you leave a message, I will call you back as soon as I can. Thanks for calling. Have a great day.
Hi, Renee.
Hi, Uncle. Did you call Zaid?
No, how you still in a meeting? As soon as I'm done, I'll call him.
Okay, let me know.
Okay.
So I want to make it clear there are Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists talking in my head still, making me extremely nauseous. I'm about to get on the phone. I'm about to get on the phone and make calls. These psychopaths talking in my head are making me sick, dude. They don't want me working. They don't want it obvious that I'm making calls. They don't want it obvious that I'm working. Did I say that already? They want to abuse me and torture me all day long, and that's all they're about. I want them sentenced to death. They're Egyptian, American, Muslim, women terrorists talking inside my head.
Your call cannot be completed as dialed. Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message.
Hello, this message is for Greg Brown. This is Renee with Alt Financial Network calling you on your property in Laguna Hills off of Dillon Road. I was calling you regarding a few loan program options that we offer here to help cure your past due balance. If you would, give me a call. My phone number is 714-306-5499. Again, my name is Renee. My phone number is 714-306 There are Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're attacking me with the war weapon. They're talking in my head. They're talking inside my head.
Message to US01LV.
So I'm making cold calls, and the terrorists talking in my head are trying to stop me. They are Egyptian American Muslim women. Okay, they're talking in my head. They're making me sick while I'm working. My head feels light, and they're like hurting me. They keep pulling on my eyes. The psycho women keep saying, "Ha ha, they're psycho, dude." Thank you, God. They're getting sentenced to death, dude. They're psycho. They're obsessed with me. They're talking in my head right now. They're saying, "You're a stupid bitch. You wish." They're psycho. There are Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists talking in my head. They're making me sick. They don't want me, when I'm done, they don't want me spending time with my daughter. They're talking in my head. They are screaming, trying to stop me from working, making me nauseous. They're like, imagine someone's trying to stop you from enjoying the time that you have with your kid, and can literally, they can burn your stomach, cause you acid reflux, make you sick, make you swell, make you cry, make your hair fall out. Dude, I want those bitches to die, please. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. I want them sentenced to death. They're talking in my head. They're laughing in my head. They're suffocating me. They don't want me to finish up and go hang out with my daughter. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're talking in my head. They're talking in my head with a war weapon. Get off of me! Get off! It's the women. They're gross. They keep making me go cross-eyed, and they're making me like they're I don't know what they're doing in my head, but it's the pressure in my head. It's off. They keep saying, "Never mind, you effing whore bag," over and over again in my head. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists because I'm exposing them. Because people know they're using the weapon to investigate me, and they don't believe that they're actually conducting an investigation. And they want to hear from me to know what they're doing, because clearly no one's micromanaging these terrorists. And the line that they're using to talk into my head is encrypted. They're making spitting sounds, and they're trying to force me to spit. They're psycho. They're Egyptian American Muslim. They're talking in my head still. I'm not going to stop explaining. Ha. I know how much you hate it. Ha, because they want you sentenced to death. Ha. I'm not stopping. I'm working, and I'm trying to make my life easier at work tomorrow. And they don't want me chipping at anything to make my life easier, so I'm less productive, so that they don't even want me at the office, because they don't want it to be obvious that I'm trying, and they're the ones sabotaging everything. They're trying to murder me and get away with it. They're making me make these sounds where I'm like, like constantly. They're suffocating me. My neighbors, they want my neighbors to hear so that they don't ever talk to me about loans or real estate. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're talking in my head, dude. They're talking in my head. Get off of me. I want them to see what I'm doing inside my room. Psycho piece of shit. They're talking in my head. Oh well, my word against yours, psycho. Because I don't know about who knew about these war weapons. Nobody fucking knows about these war weapons, you stupid piece of shit. Lying ass bitch. Ha ha. Ha ha. You're bad, you're dumb. They wanted to make it clear. They don't want to argue with anyone. The U.S. government wants them sentenced to death. These are psychopaths. That's why they permitted them to do it confidentially, because if I came out, because if they cornered these terrorists and these terrorists have to talk and nobody knows about the weapon and I start explaining that they're talking in my head, it's super fucking clear that they're criminals and no one's fucking lying. Except for the terrorists behind this weapon the weapon that they're using to talk in my head. Ha ha. Ha ha. They wanted to make it clear. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're trying to drag me into a conversation that isn't a conversation. This is murder. They're talking in my head. They're trying to hurt me so that they could see if they could get me to spiral. They want their victims on an emotional roller coaster, so they scar you. They made 98% of my hair fall out. And then they'll sit there and talk about it like, ha ha, we made your hair fall out. Oh, look how stupid her hair looks. Look how thin it looks. I mean, it is constant. And I'll cut it. I'll try to find a way to make it flatter my face. And then they'll make more hair fall out so it looks stringy. And this is just ongoing. I'll go get highlights. They'll make every hair I highlighted fall out. The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. Ha ha, get the picture? That's what you get for trying to bail your terrorist dad and brothers out and your sons and your husbands. Stupid psycho piece of shit. Now you're all getting sentenced to death. Ha ha. They keep saying fuck you. They're talking in my head. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. The men keep saying we'll just give you a heart attack and drop you right here. They keep saying it's a click of a button. It's a click of a button. Haha. What are you? How? What they? So the terrorists have never. The terrorists talking in my head. Apparently, all the victims of these terrorists have not figured out what's going on, and so I apparently am the only one. So for these terrorists talking in my head, this is a new arena. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know how the weapon's gonna read. They don't know anything. They're still trying to gain traction and put me back in this like delusional, like unaware mode where I'm like I'm completely just there. I'm completely off and sporadic and not just off, disoriented and frantic. They're stupid psycho trash. They're Egyptian, American, Muslim women terrorist. This is all new. This is new for you. I get it. They're babies in this now. I turn them right back into the stupid like, and now the terrorists need a whole new script because apparently people can start to navigate through this if they think as deeply as I did. And well, that's if they make it out alive because I intend to sentence them to death with what I figured out. They're psycho. They're out of here. They're getting sentenced to death. They're talking in my head with a war weapon that produces records, and all it needs is things to layer up with to see if the voices are internal or external. And so anyways, the terrorists talking in my head, they think their whole tactic, now that I understand how to what to do to make it clear that I hear them in my head, they want to go as aggressive as possible while I'm recording, because then if I violate the YouTube rules, YouTube won't post my video. And if YouTube can't post my video, then there's no evidence to worry about. The terrorists have nothing to worry about. So they want to go as they're hurting me aggressively as possible to attack me so that it doesn't post, because what they want to do is they want to say that the voices I heard were coming from outside and that I was just trying to get drugs from the psychiatrist, okay, or whatever they want to say, and that I wasn't, and I wanted to get Social Security, and I really wasn't hearing voices in my head. Because anytime the paramedics or the police show up, they stop talking. Like, oh, the people obviously see Renee if they're talking. And then it's like, and Renee's not, and Renee's this, and she sounds like this, and whatever they want to say about me. But it's 8 years of torture and abuse. It's like, come on. Anybody would freak out. Anyways, I have a business call coming in. I gotta go. Or I gotta He's pulling on my face. You can log in, honey, and see. Because I dare you to say you weren't talking in my head. Psycho. I sound like I'm playing games, don't I? Exactly. I can't capture your voice on my live stream. These are the dumbest terrorists on the face of this planet. Of this planet. Are the voices coming from outside? No wonder. The terrorists talking in my head, so their whole tactic. So there are Egyptian American Muslim women. Let's make this super fucking clear. There are Egyptian American Muslim women. Women, 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 women. Terrorists talking in my head who've made claims that they need the war weapon, the mind control, mind reading, telepathy, weapon of mass destruction to investigate me. Okay? And they're now talking in my head. And they want to say that the voices I heard were coming from outside. So now I'm live streaming to make it clear that the voices I hear aren't coming from outside, that I can't capture them because they're in my head. And if the terrorists want to make the claims that they're coming from out, all they have to do is log into my live stream and see damn well that they can't hear themselves. So their whole tactic now to get me kicked, because what they want to do is they don't want me on YouTube or anything that can prove during the interim of hearing their voices screaming in my head violently and belligerently and be attacking me that the whoever it was that was attacking me stop. They wanted it to go on until I call the cops or the ambulance and say, oh, the person that was doing it clearly stopped because there are the police are here. And if they're saying Renee's name, they clearly know she's home. So these psychopaths talking in my head, this is the skit that they go by. And then the minute the police show up, they stop talking. So it's like it was clearly not in her head. So now I'm making it clear while they're screaming to get me all riled up or have me before I get so fed up I call 911 or I'm too dizzy that I live stream until literally I get to that point and then I post it and then I call the ambulance and I make it clear. Like I heard these terrorists talking in my head. I need medical help so that the terrorists can't say that there was absolutely no way for them to figure out where the voices were coming from or that they were in my head. And all they want to do is try at this point is to make me violate the YouTube. This is all the women. Like I'm not like looking at the camera. It's bothering me. Let me make this clear. Okay, whatever. It's hard because you see yourself and you don't want to look at the fucking camera. But anyways, nonetheless, the psycho terrorist talking in my head wants so fucking badly to say that I was lying, that it was voices coming from outside when they're not. And now I'm eliminating that. And what they want to do is see if they could get me to scream and cuss and violate YouTube's community rules to posting your live stream so that they could get me kicked off. Because if in fact my video violates, then it doesn't get posted. And if I call the ambulance or I call law enforcement, I say I can't take it anymore, whatever, what have you, maybe the neighbors hear me screaming, they call law enforcement because they feel uncomfortable because I can't take it anymore. There is more than enough evidence that these terrorists had the opportunity to find out where the voices were coming from. And furthermore, to make it obvious that it's obviously not coming from outside. And they want to make sure that I violate the rules, because if they can get me to violate the rules, it doesn't get posted, everything's null and void. I could call and they can go right back to saying the voices aren't in my head. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists talking in my head with a mind control, mind reading war weapon. With a mind reading telepathy war weapon. Do you hear me? Okay? They're trying to manipulate the records. That's obvious. And why even stop talking when the police come if they're talking in my head and no one else fucking hears them? They're so stupid. It's obvious that that's the dead giveaway that there's a record. They're talking. They're making me spit. They're clearly talking. Like, why are you talking? No. Why are you talking? Why don't you just? And then you're conducting a confidential investigation. Who knows that you're investigating me? Why would you need to sit here and make me stirred up? Why don't you just murder me? Why don't you just give me the heart attack and put me down? Like, why all this noise and bothering people and trying to traffic me and make me look like I'm like you're why? And just so many dead giveaways. There are other records they're layering the weapon up with. The voices that I hear, okay, the consistent ones, because not all of them I hear all the time, but the ones that I hear consistently tie the other records together. There are crimes that are much more significant than them just laundering money. Clearly, these are psychopaths. They're trying to murder me. So who knows who else they've murdered. And they're trying to get away with it. I have a 16-year-old daughter, and these psychos, instead of crying over me, screaming, get out of my fucking head, keep hurting me. It doesn't even faze them that my daughter will be heartbroken, or my son, and that they already are. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're psychopaths. They're talking in my head. I don't have to slit my wrist. All they have to do is hit a button and I'll die. But they keep talking like they need me to do something because the weapon that they're using is obviously more so that they've disclosed without disclosing it because they're so stupid, okay? Because their script is so obvious, is that it has security measures. It looks to identify where the voices are coming from. Because when I'm around cameras, they get quiet. They don't want me around cameras. They made my hair fall out. They talk about making my teeth raw. They made my face swell so that my face doesn't look attractive. They laugh about how fat I am. They botched my body. They made me spend $40,000 trying to repair it, and it still looks terrible. This is like, okay, this is enough. I can't spend any more money. And now they want me to go get a facelift so that they don't have to sit here and continuously make my face swell so that it's not on the record. They're psycho. They're psycho. They're mutilating people. And mind you, they herniated one of my discs already by they make my muscles in my back contract so much that it pushes the bones on each other. And it pushes the disc out of the sides of my spine, okay, and it presses on the nerve so I can't stand. They don't want me going to work. They don't want me going to anywhere with my kids. And it was like, why is the issue with me being around my kids? What's the issue here? Like, and it's like every second of the day, like they have to rush to do it. Like they want to do it before before my daughter turns 18. My son already he's over the age of 18. Now it's like they're acting like it's crunch time. And even more so because I know what they're like, even more so because I know what they're doing. And then they don't want me going to work. They don't want me doing the same thing over and over again. They want their victims working a job at a gas station as a gas station clerk for a couple months, and then thinking that the people in the gas station are after them and they quit. And then they don't work as at the grocery store for a few months, and then somebody did, like, they play with their victims' heads and try to make them feel insecure, like, oh my god, they're talking about you, they're this, they're that. I hear it from the victims. I hear it from so many people that call themselves targeted individuals that don't realize, hey, go check yourself into a hospital ASAP. Okay, make it clear you hear voices in your head, and go apply for Social Security and provide them all the records, because all that goes to the feds. They're issuing out these checks. So now they have all the legal right to all your records. Like, they don't know this. They think that the terrorists have them thinking that that the doctors don't want them to know about this weapon, and they want to just drug them. The terrorists talking in my head and their organization are sick. They're sickos. Okay? Sick in the head. Sick in the head. The women are sick in the head. And they don't, and then they think like they'll play with their heads, and I hear it all the time. I hear the targeted individuals all the time, and I'm like, oh my god, you are going about this the wrong way. You're going like the complete opposite direction. You're falling right into these terrorist traps. Like, it is so heartbreaking that these people are being murdered. They're being slaughtered by these psychopaths. And the bitches talking in my head laugh. They laugh. They laugh at me, at us, at the victims. When they can manipulate us into falling into their trap till we either commit suicide or someone kills us by accident thinking that we're violent. And then the terrorists talking in our heads turn around and say, oh, she was talking to somebody, we don't know who it was, but it was clear she wasn't calling the cops. It's clear that this, whatever. And she must have scared the people, and they did it out of self-defense. That's why we were investigating her in the first, like, they're just sick. All day long, every second of the day, dude. And then more so, they make it obvious that the weapon, it times out. Okay? It times out. So it basically can do its investigation without these terrorists. These terrorists are the ones that are stopping it and manipulating the records, the findings of the weapon or the system that it's on. So it could go from a few minutes to a few hours, because I can sit for 4 hours tops. And 4 hours is really like, that's a long time for these terrorists. Because once like 2-3 hours go by, they go right back at it, screaming in my head. They'll sustain for a little while. They'll try to blend in. They'll be passive aggressive, pretend to laugh. You know, I'll be in church or I'll be at work, and it's like hee-haw, hee-haw. Try to make it sound like people outside. Try to make it sound like people downstairs. Try to make it sound like people in the office on the other side of my office. But when it's like, okay, obviously anybody would have known, you know, the investigation doesn't take this long, or the system knows the investigation, you know, if there's nothing going on for 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, it's like it flags the records. So they start freaking the fuck out and getting hysterical and shocking me and making me dizzy and blurred vision, slurred speech, spitting in my head, burning my hair, making me stutter, making me cry, making me sound illiterate, playing with my memory so I can't recall anything, causing me chest pain, forcing me to trying to force me to fall asleep, making me slow. I mean, literally, it will take control of your mind. Okay? And they don't want to say blatantly, get the fuck out of your uncle's office. Because then it's like on the record, like they're trafficking people intentionally to go to homelessness and then murdering them. Like, come on. This is like the crimes they've committed exceed, like, this is like, these are the world's biggest criminals. These are the most criminal acts anybody could ever commit. Literally amputating people. Did you hear what I said? They botched my body. Look at this. Look at this. And they're like, ha ha, bitch, your body's botched. Ha ha, your hair fell out. Ha ha, your face is swollen. Go get a facelift, bitch. I swear. They're talking in my head. They're Egyptian American Muslim women. Now, I've been sitting in front of this camera for 3 hours and 30 minutes now, making calls, talking to people, sending out text messages. My daughter's in the other room. I haven't said not one word to her, okay, because I want to make money. That I had 14 loans, legit deals, and a woman who's facing foreclosure, has not very much money coming in, needs to sell her house in Irvine. And she trusts me. And I know that she would give me her listing if she had to sell. And I guarantee to make sure that I don't get it, that woman is on the records, the terrorist records. I guarantee they're going to traffic. They're going to traffic everybody involved just to make sure I don't make that money. That I don't help her sell her house, save her equity, and make that money. I have 14 deals, legit deals. Like people with 2, 3, 4 houses. I had 2 deals and they went and looked for investors with identical terms after talking to me and went with the other investor. Because the terrorists weren't expecting them to call me back. And when they saw that, the terrorists saw that my follow-up game, I'm on it. Okay, and then I was calling and making sure, and did you get my letter? Are you okay? You talking to anybody? Or do you need me? And when they started showing interest, immediately the terrorist talking in my head got to work. Like, okay, let's go find him. Let's go find them another investor real quick. And they're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists talking in my head like, ha ha, bitch, we found them another investor. Not a fucking dime, whore. You're not going to get a dime. In my head, while they're murdering people and laundering money. So if it's that dire for them to make money, then the penalty for their crimes should be equal, right? I'm done I want them sentenced to fucking death. They are Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. So in case you don't hear me in court because I've died, I want to make it super fucking clear. I want them investigated and sentenced to death. Do you hear me? They don't want and so going back to the work thing, they want to say, oh, the reason why they were making minimum wage is because they never stuck out a job long enough to be promoted. They weren't at the job long enough to network with enough people. That's why they are like the women. I swear, when I'm getting ready in the morning, it is like, it's like, they're like dogs. Like, they're bark, 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 bark in my head and making me dizzy. And like, it feels like someone's literally holding you and pulling you back. And the men want to say, sorry, you can't work. Like, what? I got a problem with that. I got a problem with somebody telling me I can't work. So you know, I'm not a lazy loser. The women, and then mind you, every second of the day, like the terrorist bitches, all they do is sitting on their fat asses talking in my head from wherever the fuck they're talking from. While I am under this weapon and with like every bone in my body crying every day just to get to the office. To make nothing. And these bitches are just, ha ha, you fucking bitch. Ha ha, you fucking bitch. Ha ha, Renee, you're a stupid piece of shit. All over and over again in my head. In my head. They're lazy, psycho, loser, terrorists, whorebacks that lay on their back, get knocked up, and raise terrorists. So that their sons can protect them from being sentenced to death, so that they can relax and enjoy their life the way they've been doing. This is insane. And then mine, like I keep saying, it's like dire. Okay, so aside from the fact that they don't want any of their victims promoted, and they want to make sure, and mind you, because they don't want the government to have access to any records, they want their victims to make just enough above the poverty line so they can't qualify for government assistance. and they want them to get a degree or show some kind of achievement, okay, somewhere in their life, so that they could say, oh, they had all the potential. They chose to be impulsive. These psycho terrorists screaming in my head who want me emotional on an emotional roller coaster 24/7. Like, ha, your hair fell out. Your hair fell out every second of the day. Want to say that about their victims. When I go watch a YouTube video about how to better network, or where to look for to generate leads, or when I registered for school, or when the terrorists talking in my, they're playing with my head so I can't remember what I'm saying, what I want to say. Okay? They want to sit there and say about their victims that they were irresponsible. And the women want to act like they were the response. They want to flaunt around and parade around and like they're not. And you know what they've said in my head? Ha ha, we're women and we're gorgeous and we have so much hair, Renee. Nobody would ever do that to us. Ha 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 ha. And guess what? We have money and no one would ever suspect we're terrorists. Swear to God. In my head, the women and the women are bailing out the men, and they have their nerve, and they think I wasn't going to catch on. Well, now it's time to put those terrorist women in check, and I'm done talking, and I mean it. I'm live streaming every second that I possibly can live stream. They think, so she's like, she needs to be around her mom because my mom and my sisters, they don't want me live streaming, but I don't care. I will be live. The terrorists know that I'm a bulldog. I will fucking live stream. If I said I need a live stream, this is what makes me comfortable, I'm live streaming, and that's fucking final. And if you got a problem with it, then let me post this live stream and then go call the paramedic and have me sent to the hospital, and I will go submissively. But then that's another thing. They don't want them calling the police, because if they call the police will automatically say, Renee, do you need to go to the hospital? And I'm going to say yes. And when they say yes, I'm going to go and take my ass into the ambulance, and they're going to rush me to the hospital. So, and the terrorists don't want me, because by not running to wherever they need to run to say, hey, Renee's lying about hearing voices in her head. Okay, they're not going there. They don't want to go there because it's obvious. They go run there right now before I'm dead. And it's like, well, we don't hear her the voices in her head now. Well, let's hear what she heard before. Okay, and especially knowing, and the terrorists know they want to sentence them to death. It's like, why are they going to go run right into their death penalty? So it's like, okay, so they want me to absolutely die. And then, mind you, they want it before my daughter turns 16 so that they can open up another investigation, which involves my daughter and my ex-husband. Because who else would I have legal ties to if I die or something happens to me before she turns 18? My ex-husband. That's it. My mom, my sisters, it's like they already have access to them. And maybe that's why, so that they can continue to have access to my mom and my sisters, so that they can do a complete sweep of any documented paper evidence. And after I've seen what they've done to the homeless people, okay, literally, they're amputating people. They're making their legs raw. And so how you know the terrorists did it and it obviously wasn't a freak accident or it wasn't war. It wasn't war, because even the freak accidents the terrorist could be responsible for. But what makes you so certain that the terrorist did it is because their legs start to swell till their bones rot. And literally the doctors have to amputate their legs from infection. Because they're outside and now their legs aren't healing because they're not properly circulating. These terrorists are making them, like, they're making the infection grow. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. I'm telling you, those psychopaths, they're MIA right now. There are a few of them that are MIA. And mind you, here are some quick tips so you know. There are heterosexual married men that sleep in the same house. Okay? Kids, little kids, do not enter that house. Wherever they're talking from, it's obviously not within proximity for me to capture their voices. When I'm driving, when I'm in Irvine, when I'm in Tustin, they know where I'm at, they're not going to be within proximity because it's a conflict of interest. If I hear a terrorist and if the government finds out that they're anywhere near me, they're going to be like, well, you know what? You can't conduct the investigation because now you're a part of it. So you're somewhat a suspect. You guys have to sit aside basically and let us take over. So they're not going to be anywhere where I am. Especially if I'm hollering, I hear Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists talking in my fucking head. And wherever they're sitting from, wherever in LA or wherever they are, okay, it's heterosexual men sleeping in the same house, more than one, and obviously more than 1, 2, 3, okay, on a regular basis. It's the same people. They don't have guests. They don't have, little kids don't enter because they're afraid that if their kids see them, if they have little kids, because like I said, I hear the women in the middle of the night, just like I hear the men, and it's several women, just like I hear several men. And they all talk about how gorgeous women are and how, the women are obviously heterosexual. The men always discuss gorgeous women. So it's clear they're heterosexual men. Okay, they're not like, they're sick. Our women are better than you guys. You guys. Plural. Like, I'm only one person. And like, oh, bald bitches. Plural. Again, they made my hair fall out, so this isn't how I feel about people. This is literally what they're doing to people. Okay? And to those of you who haven't seen my pictures, I had a head full of hair. And you can go check. I posted some already on YouTube. And I have plenty on my Facebook channel. Lauren B. LOREN-B. Okay? It's my personal page specifically for posting and documenting all the hair that I've lost, any injuries, anything that breaks, everything. To keep it separate from my business and my personal accounts. Where was I going with this? They're playing with my head. The women are playing with my head. Oh, heterosexual men that sleep together. Let me go back to that. No one visits, no kids, because if kids were around, kids are so innocent. Like, what are you doing, mommy? What are you doing, daddy? Why are you always in here? Why are you always around the computer? They would ask questions. And then they accidentally say things like, oh, my mommy is always here. My mom, this is how she actually talks. And, we see the YouTube videos where kids, like, mimic their parents. So the terrorist talking about no little kids enter that house. I'd never hear little kids in the background. What else could I tell you? Middle age. And like I said, I don't know if they have little kids because I'll hear the women. And I'm like, what kind of women at this hour? Like, it'll be like 11 o'clock at night. And it's like, well, if you have little kids, you wouldn't be sitting talking in my head. And then first thing at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and they dictate when I fall asleep and when I wake up and how many days I sleep during the week, and they literally stop my brain from producing the enzymes and being able to go into the state of relaxation to fall into a deep sleep. They will force me into a state of complete and utter alertness for 3-4 nights in a row. I'll go almost 64 hours without sleep. That is murder. They're mocking me. They're saying that because they want me kicked off. So you know, because obviously I can't capture the voices. They said, she's not joking. And that's their tactic to try to get me to cuss them out and like sound belligerent and crazy and violent, and like they're sick like that because they're facing the death penalty. And I mean, they're sick like that, period, because they were doing this before they did this to launder money. It wasn't because they were just someone decided, hey, we want to go after these people and call them terrorists. They signed up to be terrorists, and now they're facing the death penalty, and they were terrorists before and they're terrorists more so now. Just, oh my gosh. And then mind you, if they destroy all the evidence and have the money, if they launder enough money and can destroy the records, which over my dead body will not happen, okay? They can go back and make a contribution, because that's how the weapon works. Either you have a completely justifiable, legitimate reason to be behind the weapon, okay? Like someone seems like they could possibly be a murderer, okay, selling drugs or doing whatever these terrorists want to make claims that they're doing, okay, but the crimes they commit can't leak into a federal crime. It has to be state law crimes. Okay, but it's significant enough where it's like, wait a second, let's investigate it. This is what I'm gathering, and they're like sneaky, they're like roaches. They look for little pinholes that open up doors to these much bigger networks. So they're trafficking money and people by the masses, because they don't want the federal government doing investigations alongside them. So they're playing with my head. They're playing with my head while I'm discussing it. They're playing with my head. She's saying, fuck you, because now I can't remember, like, fuck you, haha, try to discuss it now, bitch. That's what she's saying in my head. That is what they're saying inside my head. Inside of my head. Yeah, right. She doesn't know me. The terrorist talking in my head doesn't know me. She needs to go call her mom. And maybe her mom doesn't know me, because if her mom knew me, I think she would have better equipped the terrorist talking in my head for what she's about to she'll see. So like I keep saying, they're playing with my head. Oh, the two reasons. Okay, so either they have justifiable reasons, okay, and they pull these little like your traffic tickets or your whatever violations, and they're like, oh, this is a reckless driver, or this is a whatever they say about us to get us investigated. And that's how one avenue. But of course, you have to be established as a government. So they've established themselves as a government, it's not like just anybody has access to these weapons. Or you have to be like Elon Musk or the entire Hollywood industry to come together and accumulate funds that contribute to the world as a whole. Like, you have to be a major contributor. Like, you can't just sit behind it. So imagine they've laundered that much money, and now they can just go behind the weapon. Nobody can, after that, nobody can track them down. I have a daughter, and there's no way in fucking hell. They keep saying, she's ready, she's ready, she's ready. They're talking in my head. Do you hear the terror saying she's ready? So I want to make it clear. They're like, oh my God, she's excited. Let's see if we can get her to do this. Like, they're stupid. They're the like ride the wave type terrorists. You got to be very, very careful with these psychos. Like, they'll see if they could catch you slipping. So you got to be on your P's and Q's, dot your I's, cross your T's, live stream, be in front of credible people, be in the same room with people that have no criminal history, no drug history. Okay? Try to stay away from people, not to say that it's wrong or right, but people that are disabled mentally because they're considered by law, and I'm not trying to say incompetent, if they have a neurological disorder, and they could say, well, it could easily be misinterpreted because their mind doesn't function the same. So if you hear voices in your head, I'm talking about the people that are targeted individuals. I'm not talking to the general public. The general public that doesn't hear terrorists talking in your head, you're good. You can talk to whoever you want. I'm talking about targeted individuals need to be around people who are credible, in the same rooms with them. They need to work consistently at the same job for years and years in a row. They need to apply for Social Security, welfare. They need to make it very clear that they hear voices in their head, go get psychiatric help, even if you know there are terrorists talking in your head, because that medication might be the exact medication that protects your mind or heals your mind from the radiation that's produced by the weapon. Okay? And the government's just not able at the moment to say, hey, these weapons are actually, in fact, like, these are national security weapons, and they're being used internationally. And the entire globe relies on their data for medicine, technology, whatever, what have you. Making sure, money is not being stolen or what, like with these terrorists. So maybe they're not in that position quite yet. So position yourself so they can be. Stop looking up direct energy weapons. Stop blaming your mom, your uncle, your ex-boyfriend, your neighbor. It's not them. Okay, these are Middle Eastern terrorists. And they don't function the same way. They are. My screen, I ended up hitting it. So just be mindful, okay? Live stream. Live stream all the time. Make it clear. I can't capture their voices on my live stream. I hear voices in my head. Be honest with your doctor. Say they're trying to get me to commit suicide. They're abusing me. They're torturing me. Even if you're not the one, this is what I tell my doctor. I have no intention of killing myself. I have no intention of hurting anybody else. But my voices still say that. Like, they still tell me not to kill people, but they tell me to kill myself. And I've already been hospitalized once. I went in, big deal. They gave me the shot. Who cares? Like, it's really not a big deal. Just take the damn thing and leave. Get back to work and stop acting like a baby. These are psychopaths. I am so disappointed in people's, like, in their confidence, in their, like, people are on another they're broken on another level, dude. This is insane. I don't know if I lucked out with having a great family, and that's why I was able to decipher what is, like, what I, like, my worth and what I have to prove and don't have to prove to people. But the brokenness of these poor victims, it makes me so sad. They have no idea what they're doing whatsoever. And these are Middle Eastern terrorists. These are not white Americans. These are not African Americans. These aren't Asians. They are Middle Eastern. And mind you, the Egyptian community, the Egyptian Muslim community, is the biggest Muslim community in the United States. Now, if it is in the UK, I'm not quite sure. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Egyptian American Muslim, if they made up the majority of the terrorist organization. Now, mind you, it could be 100,000 of them out of however many million we have in this country. So don't get it wrong. I'm not saying that all Egyptian American Muslims are terrorists. I'm saying out of the 100,000 Middle Eastern terrorists, 90% of that 100,000 might be, most likely, based on statistics, that because they're the biggest population of Muslims here, they make up the biggest portion of the population of the terrorist organization. Okay, now I'm done talking. The terrorists are talking in my head. They're making me lightheaded right now. I want them sentenced to death. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. It's no coincidence. And like I said from the very beginning of this video, the government was very, like, the U.S. government is a saint. Okay, if anybody has anything to say about my government, I swear to God, I will chew you a new one. They made sure that these terrorists, like, they sewed up as many gaps as they possibly could with this weapon, and still to appease all the countries across the globe so that they could protect us to the best of their ability. Otherwise, we'd be under these authoritative psychopaths' rule. Do you understand me? And the women are disgusting. And mind you, I have said things that really get under their skin and make them want to be more disgusting than they already are. They don't have boundaries like we do. Luckily, it's on the record. Luckily, I know what I'm doing. Look, he tried to hurt my knuckles. Luckily, I'm not airheaded. Luckily, I know exactly what to say, what to do, how to handle myself. I know what they're looking for. I'm not exactly like, I'm not saying like I know everything and I got this sewed up like super tight, but I'm getting damn near close. Like, I'm filling a lot of gaps here. And like I said, anybody that has anything to say about the government not saying anything about these weapons, okay, that was strategic. That was because, mind you, to keep their allies, and at the same time to make it clear that the terrorists, if nobody knows, and people like myself and people like the targeted individuals are saying while they're being investigated, that they hear voices in their head, that it's obvious to all the government agencies that know about this weapon, that these terrorists are the ones that are responsible for the talking. And it's not just a coincidence, and that they can't blame it on anybody. Okay? So, like, strap up, I mean, like, put your boots on and strap up, and like start, you know, like doing, like, walk, like, act like a, like, pull your pants up, be a woman, be a man. Like, I don't know what to say. These are psychos. These aren't your average day Jeffrey Dahmers who are off, and you're like, that guy's a little off. These bitches can go walk around and parade around and act like they are God sent. And people would believe the stupid facade, okay? These are organized criminals. They're psychopaths. That's all I have to say.